UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class A Star Trek The Next Generation podcast on the United Federation of Podcasts Network. I am Diplomatic Standard Bearer Kevin Scharf. With me this week are Counselor Amy Nelson and our provisional head of astrophysics, Joe Keegan, head of outdoor party planning. Is that what your title is?
Yeah, well, in Scotland, we are allowed to have people in our garden as of today. So I had some, or as of this week, some point. So, I had some people round, some friends round. So it's quite nice to sit in the garden. And the roasting heat of 63 degrees Fahrenheit or 17 degrees Celsius. So
The shorts weather.
Totally shorts and vests, short shorts. I know. Scotland.
And
Any
Canada,
excuse.
same thing.
Yeah. Big news, listeners. This is my last podcast ever.
What?
Oh, kidding. I'm only kidding.
I'm not even biting on that.
Yeah.
Not even a nibble.
I thought maybe you were just fed up with the amount of teasing that you take from the rest of us, and we're fed up.
I'm immune.
Well, if this was going to be your last, Kevin, how about a first? Do you have a first for us?
Do I have a first?
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, follow my
First.
lead.
Anniversary, maybe?
Yes. So, it came to my attention via Facebook memories that it was 1 year ago that I was invited to be a quote-unquote guest host for one episode on Earl Grey with Amy and Joe. Little did I know that it was a backdoor audition, and here we are a year later, having done a year's worth of podcasts. So, thanks, guys. It's been fun. It's been a good year.
Joe and I were a little sneaky and
With
doing
everybody.
our surveillance and testing you. You know, some tests you just are not planned and you don't know about them. I mean, sort of like Wesley. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And the fun thing is that the things we discussed on that very first episode that I did with you come back around this week because we're doing 2 Wesley-focused episodes on the Batleth Battle this week, and that's what we talked about in that first episode was Wesley and his journey to the Starfleet Academy. So
Full circle.
yes, goes around and around.
I remember the conversation Amy and I had on after. We had everybody on as guests, and Amy wanted to choose Rhea as the new host, and I was like, no, why don't we just have all 3? Then we can do a bit of a rota, and it takes the burden of recording and editing.
Exactly.
So if it wasn't for me, Kevin, that would have been your one and
please.
only.
Please, no. I know that is not true. These are lies. I specifically
Lies,
wanted-
they are. Damn lies.
Oh my gosh. No,
Well,
I
I'm
wanted
just happy
you,
that
Kevin.
we're all here.
Yes.
And thank you. It's nice to be wanted.
Indeed.
Well, why don't we check the communications array and see if we have any comments from our listeners?
Logs accessed.
We have a new iTunes review. Well, I guess I shouldn't say new. Dan Smithwick was kind enough and says, I am a new subscriber. Well, thank you. And I just listened to the episode about Beverly Crusher. Wow, very thought-provoking, and it's given me a lot to consider. Some really great new insights about this integral character. Keep it up. Dan, thank you so much for that wonderful review, and we will try to keep up the good podcast coming to your ear holes.
And if we didn't say your surname right, because surnames are always a bit of a struggle. I don't know, because the US, if he's American, from that neck of the woods, it's probably Smithwick.
Yeah.
But if it's over here, then it's maybe Smithick. Maybe.
And not pronounce the W?
No. I don't know where he is, so it's either Smithwick or Smithick.
Well, it came in on the U.S.
Okay, so Smithwick.
Right.
Unless he just immigrated to the US and he's originally from Cambridge. Who knows?
Cambridge, Massachusetts? Or Cambridge, Ontario?
Oh.
Cambridge, England.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Dan, please let us know where you're from and how to say your surname. Assuming that it's pronounced Dan as well. You never know with some names. Sometimes parents don't know how to spell their child's name. Now,
As teachers, we know that a lot, yes.
The mother's been in labour for 72 days. The dad gets sent to the registry office and they've decided on the name and he has no clue how to spell it.
Yeah.
I once had a Charlie called Charleigh.
Oh. When Lee is spelled like that, it throws me for a loop.
Yeah, and it was a boy, and that was just weird. Hope he's not a listener. Oh, can I tell you some news? Sorry, just segue into my news. I had a first year class, so they are 13 years of age, and I'm teaching them about the naming elements and compounds, from the periodic table. And I'm kind of trying to safely go around the class with everybody's masked, and I spy the Hayes manual for the Enterprise A on a pupil's desk. And I was like, oh, I've got that as well. And he was like, oh yeah, I like Star Trek, but I prefer TNG.
Yes.
And I was like,
Instant
what?
bond.
I know. It was like amazing. So yeah, he's now my new best friend in school.
Oh, man. You're so lucky. All my kids I like Star Wars. I'm like, fine, whatever. Go away.
F.
Have you made this new best friend of yours listen to the podcast?
I told him about it, and then realised he's probably maybe going to listen to it, and then I have to be careful what I say. So students are stupid. No, you're not. Kevin, edit that out. So yeah.
Oh, sure I will.
It's a family-friendly podcast, so I don't mind who listens to it. So we also got some feedback about our Amanda McBroom interview, which was she was just such a delight to talk to, and so knowledgeable and so friendly and just beautiful. We have a comment from our good friend Justin Oser, who says, loved this interview. I love her as Louvois in The Measure of a Man, and she had some great stories and insights on the episode. But I had no idea she was also a singer and songwriter and wrote The Rose. Wow. That was so cool to find out. I'm not a musician myself, but I love music and I'm fascinated by the process of songwriting. My wife is a songwriter, and what she comes up with feels like magic. Thank you, Justin. Justin, I'm so glad you didn't notice that I kept on throughout the entire interview calling her Beauvoir. I have no idea why I was doing that. I know her name is Louvois. It just came out and it wasn't accent related. It was just me messing up. So, yeah, glad you enjoyed it. Hope Rosie is doing well. Interestingly, Amanda McBroom wrote The Rose with Rosie in mind. So, that's a little known factoid. But
you know what's amazing is when I mentioned to my Stage Whispers co-host that we were interviewing Amanda McBroom, my co-host and good friend Nancy knew immediately right away who she was from her songwriting, not from being on Star Trek.
Wow.
Yeah.
I shared the song with one of my students and sort of sang it to her. Because I told her, I said, it's one of the first songs that I learned on the piano, and was telling her that she should learn it as well. And so I shared the song with her, and she's like, that's really pretty, Miss Nelson. So
nice.
Awesome. Well, our next comment came from Paul Wright Jr., who just said, loved this interview with a heart emoji. So thank you, Paul. We had a great time too. It was really fun to talk to her.
We heart you too, Paul.
We do. Mm-hmm. And we have Vera Bible, who commented on our Science in TNG. and writes, "What a fantastic episode. I learned so much on my commute today. I'm so glad you guys brought this idea over to Galaxy class," with a purple heart emoji. Vera, I'm telling you, I learned so much too. So I'm not the only one. Thank you so much.
It just shows that no matter how much we put him down, Joe really does know some stuff. He's smarter than he looks.
I'm like evolved. I'm like John Doe in Transfigurations. I'm just going to turn into a glowing orb and fly away. Amazing.
Well, that will bring us to our main topic, which is another of our fantastic Batleth battles.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
This month's Batleth battle is Season 1, Episode 18, Coming of Age, versus Season 1, Episode 7, Justice. Before we start, why don't we just take a look at some of the feedback we got from the poll that got posted to the Federation Council chambers. I love that people get excited and involved in this in these battles when we post them. So thank you. I encourage all of you to vote whenever you can. I'm not saying that your votes are going to sway us, but they might. Yeah. So why don't we take a look at some of the feedback there?
All right. So Vera Bible. Hi, Vera again. I guess I'm the official Vera Bible comment reader.
There you go.
And Vera writes, "While I enjoyed watching both episodes, I can't get over the fact that the Edo have one punishment, all in caps, regardless of crime. And Tasha somehow missed that before they beam down. Coming of Age gets my vote." Well, Vera, I have to say, reading your comment and then watching the episode really did influence how I saw the Edo. And I never realized that literally Tasha says that she looked over their laws, but missed the punishment part of it. I never caught that before. I didn't even see that as an issue. And now it's sort of all I can see. So thanks, Vera.
And from me, as the official Justin Oser commenter, I don't know that I'm particularly happy about this, because Justin's used a word with multiple R sounds, and in Scottish, that's just very difficult to say, because we roll our R sounds. It's like rolling R sounds. Hello. So Justin Oser says, "I'll continue to be the contrarian and vote for justice," with a laughy smiley emoji.
Yes, Justin is always the voice of dissidents. He just can't go with the majority.
Terrible human being.
Oh. Whereas Jim McMahon says, "Definitely Coming of Age. It introduced the recurring conspiracy at Starfleet Academy that culminated at the end of the season. That and Wesley's entrance exam beats Wesley facing a death sentence for ruining a flower bed." It does seem a little harsh.
Oh, and Justin has commented again. Has he?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
Is he replying to Brandon?
No.
He just wanted to say that he wasn't alone.
Yes, okay.
Here.
And Justin Oser comments again, saying that Brandon Shimutala and Ria Papagiorgio have joined him in voting for justice.
So
interesting.
So I think he's a rabble-rouser, that Justin Oser.
He is.
He's a troublemaker. He always seemed so innocent and friendly and kind and generous and warm.
He can't just go along with the consensus.
It's a facade, you guys.
It's because he stopped podcasting with us. He's been influenced by dark forces. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Those people over there on Infinite
Are you
Diversity.
calling Brandon and Chrissie dark forces?
Dark forces.
You know,
I know you're on
the
this.
shoe fits.
I know they're on the same network, but I've never really spoken to them, so they might as well be.
Right.
Don't know them. They could very well be dark forces.
Okay, so can I just comment on these votes and this poll?
Sure. Is that a fix? Have they been? Did somebody steal the vote?
No, but
Recount.
Joe, can I talk?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So, you know, when you're watching Star Trek and you're all alone and then you are introduced to fandom and then you're like, oh, I didn't know that people didn't like Nemesis. Let's just say that because I love it so much, you know? And then you're like, what's going on? This happened to me. I did not think that it the poll results and seeing the comments, people don't like Justice? I'm just shocked. I did not even in any way, shape, or form think that Justice was not regarded as a great episode.
Yeah, I like both of them. I've got to say they're both quite enjoyable for me for two very different reasons. I wanted to be Wesley going through his Starfleet entrance exams, and I also like the people running around in skimpy outfits. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Justice, again, before we even get into the discussion of the minutiae of these episodes, I think Justice is seen as a more campy episode. And it really is a throwback to the original series, I feel like. So,
well, I'm excited to get into the discussion. I just was really surprised at the results and just was throwing that out there.
Well, why don't we get right into talking about the minutiae of the episodes, and we'll start with coming of age. Who would like to summarize? Would you like me to summarize coming of age? I will summarize coming of age. I'm getting nods of disapproval when I ask for it.
I would do it if you wanted, even though I've not watched the episodes. So I can, if you want.
All good. All good. Let me do it. Normally, I pass this task off to somebody else. I'll let you take Justice, Joe, because I know how much you like this skimpy.
Amy wants Justice, so
Amy wants Justice for Amy. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at coming of age. Coming of age starts with Wesley, and he's about to take the Starfleet entrance exam, but also Admiral Quinn shows up to be beamed aboard the Enterprise, and he brings Lieutenant Commander Remick with him. They need to speak to him about private business. They're going to do a thorough investigation of the crew of the Enterprise, and there's something seriously wrong, but he won't tell Picard what it is. Let's just see here. And meanwhile, Wesley is going down to the planet Relva, where he's going to the Starfleet Academy testing center, and he's up against a human girl, a Vulcan girl, and a Benzite named Mordock, and they will be taking this test together. Remick just does his Remicky thing and sticks his nose in where it's not wanted and pokes around just to find out what's going on. Wesley takes a test. Riker gets into it with Picard about Remick, and then they have Remick is just a Weasley little bureaucrat who just wants to get his nose into everything, but they won't tell anybody what's going on. Wesley has some doubts about his testing. Also, at the beginning, we had met one of Wesley's friends who was not able to take the Starfleet Academy exam. He didn't make the requirements, and he steals a shuttlecraft. Remember this plot line?
Oh, yeah.
He steals the shuttlecraft and ends up getting into some trouble there. And because he's very upset that he didn't make it, and he doesn't want to face his parents, and he's going to burn up in the atmosphere because he loses control of the shuttle very quickly. Picard talks him through it, saves the boy's life, and through unorthodox means, they bounce the shuttle off the atmosphere, and Jake. His name is Jake. Jake was saved. Then Wes yells profanities at a superior officer because apparently he just happened to know that that's how they like to be talked to. This is something that everybody is supposed to just know is common knowledge, that because he has webbed fingers, you're supposed to insult him. Once we finally get to the point where Picard gets to the breaking point about these investigations, Quinn finally tells him that there's something going on at Starfleet Starfleet headquarters, and that Picard needs to keep his ears open for things. The testing continues back on Relva. There is, and just as Wesley thinks he's on a break period, an accident happens, and Wesley has to make a choice whether to save a man who is unconscious or try to get to a guy who's just too afraid to move. And he makes his decision and pulls the unconscious man out, and the other guy dies. But it turns out, wait, it's not real. It's all part of the test, and these guys were just actors, and Wesley has passed because he made a decision in the heat of battle. But having given all of that, Wesley does not make it into Starfleet Academy because only one of these candidates is allowed in. And because Wesley helped out Mordok, he didn't finish the test in time, and Mordok gets the position. And they pretty much all live happily ever after, with Wesley getting to continue his adventures on the Enterprise, Remick and Quinn going back to Starfleet Academy with the warning given to Picard. The end.
That was some summary, wasn't it? I was like, I don't have to watch the episode anymore.
No.
There you go.
It was like a 45-minute.
I'm sorry, but there's a lot really happened in this episode.
Yeah.
There were really like 2 or 3 different plots. There was the Jake plot, and the Remick plot, and the Wesley plot. And they're setting up what seemed to be a continuing storyline, which...
doesn't happen too often on TNG, so we will definitely give it credit for that.
So why don't we talk about guest cast? There were quite a few guest performers on this episode, weren't there?
The biggest one for me, the most like profound, mind-blowing one, is Tazia Valenza, who played Tishanik, the Vulcan girl taking the test. Mm-hmm. Turns out she also voiced the computer on the Shenzhou in Discovery.
Oh.
What?
Really?
I know!
I can go to bed now.
Seriously.
Something new.
So that must have been different than the Black Alert, because we've met her.
Yeah, Black Alert, that was the Discovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was different ship.
What did you say?
The Shenzhou.
Oh,
The one that's upside down, the bridge is on the bottom.
Yes.
And in the Shenzhou, the bridge is on the bottom of the saucer section.
what? Okay, I'm sorry. What's the Shenzhou?
The one in the first 2 episodes. The Battle of the Binary Stars.
Captain Giorgio's ship.
Yeah.
Philippa Giorgio's ship. That Michael was the first
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I mean, you don't meet the Discovery until episode 3.
That's correct.
That's
Okay. Wow. That is... All right, coming of age. It's moving up. Getting points left and right.
Also, I think we got to talk about Quinn and Remick. They are not our characters that we're going to see again. So that's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the first time, would we say, a true Badmiral? Because we're not going to say Louvois is a bad.
No, she's not. Absolutely not. You can't say it when you've interviewed her.
But at this point, was he? I think.
And Louvois wasn't an admiral.
That's true. She was captain.
And what's his face? Clyde Kusatsu, Admiral Nakamura.
Yep.
He wasn't really bad.
Right.
He was kind of bad because he gave the order to the data should go and get kind of dismantled. So, but he's not bad either, I don't think.
Okay, so question. Knowing what we know about Admiral Quinn and how he gets the bug insect alien,
Parasite. Yeah.
Parasite, yes. Do we view him as having the parasite in this episode, or do you view him as not without?
I think in hindsight, you think he has it. He has to have it. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
I think so too in hindsight.
Really?
I mean, first time
'cause
watching through, you don't know any better, so you're like, okay, yeah, he's really worried about what's going on. But I think in hindsight, he's the one that's causing all the disruption and mistrust, and that's what spurs and gets these two sides, right? You're either with him or against him.
But then, why wouldn't he have made Remick stay? Like, if they were already both infected, wouldn't he have wanted one of the parasite aliens to be on the flagship? And when Remick said, "I'd love to serve here," Quinn could have said, "That's a good idea. Picard, you've got a new crew member."
So I think that Admiral Quinn was infected, but Remick not. Because I feel like when he, talked to Picard, and I could just see his like true desire to serve with Picard because he found no flaws, that it's like, oh, I really want to serve with you. And then Quinn's like, I've got other plans for you, and because you're going to get infected.
Because you're going to be the alien queen.
Yes.
And
well, I guess. Go ahead.
No, I was just looking at our guest cast. Daniel Reardon, who played the Rondon guy. Wesley
with the
Wesley
webbed
puts
fingers.
Yes, Wesley puts in his place. He was also in Deep Space Nine. He played a Bajoran security deputy on the station, but also was in Enterprise, and he played Duras, son of Toral, in the Expanse episode of Enterprise.
Huh.
Well, he's a big burly dude, right? Like, so I expect him to. He was like a bodybuilder almost, kind of.
He should have been cast in Justice as one of the Edo. Mm-hmm. Just because.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
I think when it comes to talking about importance to Star Trek canon, there's lots of things here. This is one of the first episodes that refers to previous episodes. When Remick is doing his investigation, he talks about things that have already happened on the show. And there've only been 18 episodes at this point, but he brings up the Naked Now,
the battle,
the plot line and the battle and all kinds of things that have happened. So that sort of shows that the show does have continuity, that these aren't just standalone adventures. So there's that. Plus, there's Wesley's journey as well, right? This is Wesley's first attempt at Starfleet Academy. We know he's going to try again, and that continues on through.
Yeah, I have one other, importance to Star Trek canon and adding the psych test that he takes is very similar to Troy's command test of that decision of, it's your command. Are you able to allow someone to die or command them to die? So both tests have to deal with loss. And I think that's very important that Starfleet is training, right, those who are serving to know and expect and somehow deal with loss, because you're going to see it, whether it's in the academy or in the command.
I was going down the rabbit hole of guest actors again and seeing what else they'd been in. So, Chang, the tester guy.
The proctor.
What?
The proctor? Who's like the...
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
The administrator.
Robert Ito, he played Harry Kim's dad in Voyager. Did not know that. Also, there was one other thing I noticed. John Pooch, who played the Benzite Murdoch, who also played the other Benzite Mendon. And he was a journalist at the beginning of Generations on Enterprise B.
And this is the first time we'd ever seen a Benzite, too. So I think that's a...
Yep.
We don't see a ton of Benzites, but...
yeah, and then when we do see Mordon... all Benzites look alike, so I'm going to call you Murdoch. That's sort of bad that Star Trek did that.
Tiny bit racist.
Yeah.
But they kind of...
But they use the same character, so...
The same actor, yeah. The same makeup. They didn't even change the coloring of it or anything.
What did they had? They explained it as that he was from the same kind of family group as Murdoch.
Yeah, I can't remember what Mendon said.
He said they were from the same geostructure. Because they were from the same geostructure, they would look alike.
Interesting. if we're comparing the two, I definitely think coming of age is more important to canon than Justice.
We haven't gotten to Justice.
I know.
Yet,
I'm just
Okay, so why? What's important to
just
canon?
for all the reasons that you guys had mentioned. That it's the start of the whole conspiracy idea, and the fact that you can reverse engineer the fact that Admiral Quinn was potentially infected during coming of age with the parasites. We see our first Benzite. We've got that comparison between the command tests, having to send somebody to their death. Who do you choose to die? And there's a bunch of guest actors that have been in other Star Treks. I know they're just actors that were available for that part. And we've got the Rondon guy, who's nice to look at. He does have webbed digits, so anyways.
Nope.
Well, and I think we've definitely talked a lot about education previously, and coming of age is definitely an episode that we talk about because we get to see the different types of tests and how they administer them, their small teacher to student ratio. So and how they administer tests. And so we are getting the minutia and the details and universe building of Starfleet Academy. And the importance, because we get Jake, who didn't make it, has that, tremendous dread and pressure and guilt for not getting in. Right. And then, so it's this whole life within Starfleet that we get to see in this episode.
I'm not buying that he wouldn't have got in. He managed to take command of a shuttlecraft and steal it and then pilot it away.
And I'm not buying that they only let one person in.
I know.
From this sector. And we've talked about it before, but that just is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because
how do you keep your ranks up if you don't allow more people than that into your academy?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to know that during the Dominion War, that rule was not in use. Yeah, it's like anybody and everybody. There was a, what do you call it? A draft. Mm-hmm. And just
after the Borg attack too.
Yeah, just you're in, move it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good discussion of coming of age. Anything else we need to talk about in this particular episode? So why don't we move on then to Justice? Amy's shaking her head vigorously. Amy, do you want to do us a brief description of the episode Justice?
Well, it seems like everyone knows Justice. This is the episode where they have been circling Rubicon 3. I guess not circling. What's the word?
Orbiting.
Thank you. And even Beverly Crusher says, look, we need some R&R. We need some downtime. Risa isn't around. Here's a great planet. And so they send an away team down to the planet, check things out, and everything is just perfect. In fact, a little too good to be true. It was mentioned. However, the Enterprise D comes across this partially phased starship, and it warns the Enterprise, shakes violently, loud voice, and then attacks, and I'll use the term loosely, Data for an information exchange. Data is unconscious, having this exchange, and the away team comes up. They're like, all right, we love this place. We're going to send just a small group of people down, go check things out. And that's when Wesley goes down. And then Wesley's playing ball with other teenagers, crashes into a flower bed, which is the zone, and therefore taken into custody. No. Was going to get put down immediately right there on the spot. Of course, Riker steps in. They're trying to contact the Enterprise. However, the Edo god, we will say, has broken communications between the planet and the Enterprise. So they're trying to figure out what to do, and goes into an amazing discussion about laws and justice and punishment, crime and punishment. And we get an amazing two-sided debate that this episode goes through. We also get an amazing two-sided debate of what do we identify as a godlike being. And we get, again, an excellent portrayal of different stages of advancement in a human, dare I say human, a human life.
Humanoid.
Yes, humanoid life. Thank you. And finally, Picard or Data, they start understanding the Edo, and they're like, okay, we're having this discussion, but we can't let Wesley die. So goes down, has an amazing soliloquy about all of these things, values, reason, peace, tranquility, and then just takes Wesley, hoping that the Edo god has listened to their rationale, doesn't judge them too harshly, and that is the end.
Good synopsis. My biggest problem with this episode is the fact that they find an idyllic, primitive planet. So they're en route to deliver colonists to the Sternard solar system, and they've discovered another Class M planet in the Rubicon star system, and it's inhabited. So they go, send an away team down to go and visit them. They're not warp capable. Why are they going down to visit a primitive, kind of pre-industrial civilization? Prime Directive, anyone? Hello?
Yeah.
Well, there is a ship.
They don't know that at the beginning.
At
They
the
don't know
beginning?
that.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I'm like, that's just very, like, oh, look, it looks nice, it'll be good for shore leave. Let's just go down into hell with the people there. Seems the major flaw in that episode for me. So.
Like I said, this was very early in the production. In fact, it was the first script to be commissioned after Encounter at Farpoint. It was the 8th to be filmed, but it was the first one written after the pilot. And it really does feel like a classic Star Trek episode, like a Kirk, Spock, McCoy go to the planet. They're worshiping a giant sentient computer. That's, it's the same kind of thing. Instead of the computer being on the planet, it's half in phase above the planet, and it's sending its edicts down to its primitive people below. So it's got that kind of vibe to it, and even the costumes look like something that people on the original Star Trek would have worn. Not a lot of fabric there. So I think we got to give it that it is a very, very, very early episode of the show.
I didn't know that about it. That it was the first episode scripted, but they filmed. That's interesting, and it does feel
It had to be rewritten several times.
Okay, it does feel very much original series. Because they did that all the time. Went down to primitive planets in the original series. So obviously, when did the whole Prime Directive thing come about? Like the idea that the Prime Directive meant that you didn't interfere with pre-warp civilizations. Because it's always just been in my head canon.
Well, we know that in Enterprise, right? Archer, it says one day we will have that. So it's definitely after Enterprise.
They talk about the Prime Directive in
this episode. They do a lot,
right? Picard says our number one rule is follow the rules of the planets that you're visiting.
And the Edo is judging them based off of their Prime Directive because they've scanned Data's brain or positronic network, and so understand what our laws or Starfleet's laws are, and therefore, that's what Picard was worried about. Like, oh, they're going to be judging us on our own laws, and we're breaking, one of them by either not interfering or breaking the other by not protecting my crew.
And this does get referenced in the other episode we talked about, Coming of Age, that Picard broke the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
So there's a little continuity there. Should we talk about guest stars?
Yes, Joe, go down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was.
Who would you like to mention?
I was going to mention the first one that I come across was he plays the second Edo mediator, Richard Lavin. I think he's one of the police officers. He's wearing the grey uniform. He also was in Loud as a Whisper. He played one of the alien guys on the planet. Mind, they were warring factions. He played one of them. He's all gnarled up makeup.
Have recognized
no,
him
never.
in any
And
way.
obviously he was in Shades of Grey as well, but as archive footage. Mind when Riva gets
Yes.
murdered. Yeah. So there's him. He's been in. I just like to see what they've been in. I don't
Yes.
care what they've been in outside the franchise, but I like it when they've been in other things.
Will you answer me a question? The person who Picard brought up to the Enterprise, was she the same female Edo?
Maybe.
Was she the same female Edo that welcomed Riker and the away team to the planet?
Oh, I think I've got a feeling she is.
Because I have a major issue with the wig and hair department. Because in the first few scenes, she's wearing this terrible, looks like a carpet of a wig. And then after, when they're like going to the pleasure part of the planet, once they get rid of Wesley, they go to the adult section. And there she has her curly hair, but then just a 3/4 wig or a hairpiece attached to her own hair. And that change like annoys the crap out of me. That production level, again, just shows how early it was. And I'm just very glad that it has improved.
I've not noticed that. It just looks like it was the 80s, so she had a giant perm.
Well, but at the very beginning, it's a full wig with even the front part, her bangs and stuff. Just, it looks like a carpet. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it again.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
It is the
unsee
same
it.
woman. The character's name is Rivan, and she's part of the team of Edo that welcome Riker and Yar to the planet. And then she's also the one, because she's the leader.
See, and you can see why I got confused, because she had different hair. And then I just didn't know. So, yeah. I thought that she was the same, but that wig and hairpiece, oh, that was a big fail for the production team. Okay. I know that there are issues, but can we talk about the value and the philosophy that we get from this episode? And maybe they tried to put in too much. Because again, there are so many deep philosophical debates that we can have just from this one episode. Obviously, crime and punishment. I mean, that could be an entire... We could have a whole debate, right? Because I really feel that the Edo are onto something very logically. Well, why would anyone walk on the grass and risk death? Like, that makes sense. That's a great argument. Why don't we have one punishment? Like, you can see both sides. What I'm saying is the episode really does a good job in showing both sides of where they're coming from. And then talking about laws and justice, right? There can be no justice if laws are absolute. That's what Picard says. And I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes. But, right, these laws are what's holding down order. And where these people are in their advancement, where their stages, right, this is where they need to be. And they bring up the point, didn't you once have capital punishment? Yes, we did have that in our history. So why are you judging us when you and your historical background had capital punishment? And now you're saying, oh, that we're not as advanced as you? Well, thank you very much for coming into my home and dissing me like that. Like, it's a great argument that we get to have, and we get to have this discussion. And then that leads into the seeding process of, is that really what we do? Do we go out and seed? Is that our purpose? Right? That's defining. And then you have the whole idea of advancement. And in this one episode, we have the Edo children, I guess you would, that would be, obviously lower than us because they still have capital punishment. And then you have a more evolved Starfleet Federation of the Picard, where we are in the 24th century. And then you have a higher advancement where we all could go if we continue to grow and expand and become like the Edo god. Like, the debates and the philosophies that we could get into this one episode, like, we just right there could have 4 episodes of Galaxy Class just based off of those ideas. That's why I love Justice. I love Star Trek that gets me thinking, that shows both sides of an argument and builds this debate. Have I sold you on Justice yet? You don't get that with Coming of Age. You don't get these hot topic, philosophical, rich discussions with Coming of Age. You get that in Justice.
You're right, I think. Yeah. They're very different episodes. I think we probably should talk about, have an episode about crime and punishment and laws and justice, because there's lots and lots to talk about within Star Trek. So, is it, I think I'm just going to talk about it. Is it, I don't believe capital punishment is right under any circumstances. So, I wouldn't be for a society that had that as any punishment. Is it a good idea to have kind of one punishment for any crime? I don't think so, because then there are some crimes that are really severe and others that are very minor infractions of the law, like speeding, doing like 10 miles over the speed limit compared to murder. I mean, they're totally different crimes.
But speeding can cause
But if
death.
you were just, it can, if that'd be a different crime though, wouldn't it?
So it's a preventative cause, whereas murder and that punishment is more of a after the fact, where speeding is like, okay, we're trying to prevent. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But people still speed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and people still die
in
car accidents.
Yeah. I was a couple of things maybe related to speeding. So my question is,
do you think that if caught speeding and then put to death immediately, do you think that they would speed?
No, because they'd be dead.
Do you think others who are alive would risk death to speed?
But then you're going to have a problem where if the law is absolute like that, then you get people that either it was a genuine accident, say they didn't know the speed limit, or their car was faulty, or any other mitigating factor, which would mean they would be dead for something that essentially wasn't their fault, or there were mitigating
brought up in
circumstances.
this episode.
Yeah,
because they're saying the gray suit policemen were like, ignorance of the law is no justification.
I don't believe that. Okay. Think of going to law school to study law to be a lawyer. Yeah? You're there for years and years and years, and then you could spend your entire career and not be an expert on the law. Because the law of countries, like take US state law, every state's got a different set of laws, and then you've got federal law. So you've got that, whose jurisdiction is it? So it's infinitely complex. So you have to do a lot of homework for a case, but on a case-by-case basis. So I never bought that argument to be ignorant of the law, because there are a lot of laws that are still in the books from hundreds of years ago. Like you're not allowed to eat mangoes on a Thursday in June. There's stupid laws like that because somebody at the time, the king or whoever, decided, oh, I don't like that, let's make it a crime and you will be beheaded for doing that thing. And nobody's bothered to remove them as laws. So any little, to have knowledge of all the laws is never going to be practical. A couple of cases that have come to mind recently, kind of on a similar vein, but does the punishment fit the crime? And we were talking about it in work the other day. It popped up on Facebook. It was the sentencing of that young man in Florida who, when he was 18, he was doing 110 miles an hour along a road. He was racing his friend and he happened to hit a young mother and her 1-year-old child in a pram. And they were killed instantly. So, yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you're 18, you're not thinking about the consequences of your actions, you're just out having fun. It's all a bit of a laugh. It's exciting. And you do something, a split-second decision has kind of unconceivable consequences for the rest of your life. He got sentenced to, I can't remember the numbers, but there were a number of charges made against him, of which he was found guilty, and he got like 15 years for the first one, which was fine. I was like, okay, he's 21 now, he'll be out mid-30s, but then he got another 20-something years on top of that, and I was like, he's going to be in prison until he's almost 50. So I was really conflicted about, is that the right thing to do, that kind of sentence? I honestly don't know the answer. I really feel for the victims, the woman and the child who are now dead, and their family. It was a young family, the husband, parents. Your community is shattered because of this stupid act of one person. However, he's going to be in prison for the next 30 years, not being a productive member of society. Prison systems I don't think are fit for purpose. They should seek to rehabilitate and kind of teach. So, yeah, do you get the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah,
it's super difficult.
Yeah, like you're saying, the whole idea of punishment and how do you put a quantity on a life or potential? Because that's what that person did, rob the potential of the child and the mother. And so what would have happened had they been allowed to live their life? What potential? What could they have changed? What could they have influenced? Who could they have enriched the lives? And you're trying to put a quantity on that to fit the crime so that the punishment is commensurate. You can't.
I know. It's so difficult. But then you've got the argument that the potential of this young man who's been convicted of these crimes has been taken away because he's now incarcerated. Is that... I mean, is... Yeah,
I know. And you're getting
right?
2 lives for one. The numbers, it's
all very biblical, isn't it? An eye for an eye, which I don't subscribe to, but...
But in this case, it's an eye for a tulip.
True, yeah. They were very nice flowers in that flower bed, so...
Yes, they were just newly planted. They needed to not be disturbed.
I know.
Here's my issue with the legal system of the Edo. They said that if you commit a crime in the red zone, the zone that is randomly chosen and is being watched, then the punishment is death. Does that mean that if you commit a crime and it doesn't happen to be the red zone, there's no punishment at all? So if I committed a murder in a zone that wasn't being watched, I would just get away with it?
It sort of seemed like that.
Yeah, that's a terrible system.
I agree.
That's a terrible system. Now, I get that you don't know what sections are being monitored. It's random, so you've got to be on your toes. But the fact that somebody could get away with murder where Wesley's going to be put to death for stomping on a couple of flowers, that seems stupid to me. The other issue I have is that the way this issue is presented is so in your face that there's no subtlety in the story at all. It just rubs me wrong. Like there are just story problems right from the beginning. I feel like like you said, they should never have gone to this planet in the first place. The whole godlike beings that are watching their people, that's a little creepy. The fact that the people, the Edo people,
but they're his children.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter what it means if that's the relationship that he feels. I mean, given far enough, my great to the 10th power, right? That's a population on a planet. Who's to say that really truly is not their parent? I'm just saying.
But is it more like a godlike, oh, you are my children because I created you and put you there? It's not like a biological, I am the father, you are the child. More like a caretaker relationship. Now, the sporocystine life form and the Ocampa kind of idea.
Well, but I think that it's different than that. I think that they're the same race. But I do think that it's like the advanced version of the Edo people.
Interesting. I'd never thought about that before. I don't know.
Yeah. And a society where everything is an absolute and there's no shades of grey, to quote another episode, just doesn't...
There was the police outfits were grey. There's at least one shade.
That is true.
There you go. Well, shall we vote?
Well, I was just going to...
Did we talk about...
I was just going to say Josh Clark was in this episode as a tactical officer. And Josh Clark went on to play Joe Carey in Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one he kind of looks like Chief O'Brien. I bet he was the engineer. B'Elanna got the chief engineer role over him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Curly, ginger hair. So yeah, that's...
Did we talk about importance to Star Trek canon? Is there anything in Justice that...
I think my whole argument and the philosophical debates, that is Star Trek canon.
Is that... I don't think it's canon.
Philosophy.
I don't think it's
Star Trek philosophy.
Yeah, I think it's a philosophy. It's very Star Trek, isn't it? It's the best of Star Trek.
Yes.
That kind of... That's why we love it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
gives you that social commentary.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And how can we improve? Yes. How can we be better? And do we see ourselves as the Edo people? Do we see ourselves as Starfleet? Do we see ourselves as the Edo god?
No, you're right. Although I don't think it's necessarily... There's no repercussions of this episode throughout Star Trek. We never see it again. It's like a very much standalone episode. So in terms of importance to canon, I don't think it is very important.
So, shall we vote?
Let's do it.
Having said that, who wants to vote first?
I am voting for Justice. It is a way superior episode. Makes me think. I enjoy it more. It's definitely one that is memorable. When I think of coming of age, I seriously have to think, oh, what is that about? I have to think about the title and, oh, it's Wesley. And I just don't remember coming of age. You can
Amy,
say Justice.
Sorry to interrupt you. That's nothing to do with how good the episodes.
Yes,
that's just because we're of an age where when what's that episode about? Oh, I have to look up Memory Alpha because we're not 18 anymore. We don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the star dates of every episode. It's purely an age thing. So I'm the same. I have to think about kind of any episode. What is that about again? Unless it's like All Good Things or Best of Both Worlds or...
Well, I'm just saying, for me, Justice is right up there. I literally would put that in my top 10 of TNG. That's really how much I like it.
Okay.
Wow.
So for me, Justice is right up there. And again, I'll say it like I did at the top. I'm surprised. I thought everyone liked Justice. I thought everyone would put it in their top at least 25. Like, I did not know that people found issue with it. And I just am surprised. So I wholeheartedly, Justice. That's my vote.
Okay. I'm going to vote next.
Okay.
And I've taken, Amy, you make some very good points about how, what's that thing about why we love Star Trek? The
philosophy.
Why it makes us think and why it makes us better human beings. However, do you know what? There's something about coming of age, Wesley going through those tests, and as a teenager watching it originally and seeing Wesley, I was like, I want to do that as well. I knew the answer to the matter-antimatter ratio for the...
Was 1-to-1.
1-to-1. It's like...
How about, did you have your rotational vector already figured out
that
too?
stumped me. I would have to... You need to play a couple of levels, the tutorials on that game first, before you get any good at it. So that idea of being able to, like, being in high school and then applying for universities, if Starfleet was an option, then that would have been my top pick. So for that reason, I'm picking Coming of Age, because I wanted to be Wesley in that episode. So that's my pick.
I can understand, and it is very relatable. Yes.
So that means that I have to decide. Who will be upset with me? Will it be Amy? Will it be Joe? Okay.
I know where you live. You live near Toronto in Canada.
I do.
Come find you. Mm-hmm. Canada can't be that big.
No.
Oh, no.
No. Here's the thing. Justice is an episode that I know exactly what it is when you mention it as well. But I think it's for the exact opposite reason of Amy.
Ooh, you put it in the Sub Rosa recognize it category?
I think it's ridiculous. I also think it's slightly racist in that we're talking about another monoculture here. All of the perfect people are blonde-haired and blue-eyed and tanned. You know, there's not if they're just like humans, and humans come in all shapes and sizes, these people don't. And that rubs me wrong.
I've got a feeling, sorry, Kevin, to interrupt you. I've got a feeling Rhea has made this argument before about if Code of Honor is racist against black people, then Justice has to be racist against white people. I don't know if I necessarily...
I'm not saying that. I think Justice... I think Justice is racist against black people too, because it's saying that the only perfect pretty people are white, blonde, blue-eyed people.
Yeah, but I think it's the same argument, isn't it? It's like maybe. Code of Honor is, okay, these tribalistic people doing bad things are black.
They were all good-looking black people in Code of Honor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, different color.
Yeah, anyway, but no, that's the way. It's the way the black people are portrayed. They're portrayed as being kind of primitive, tribalistic, and being the bad guys.
Oh, isn't that the way the Edo is? They're primitive. They don't have an evolved crime and punishment system.
But do they? No, they don't have any crime until Wesley arrives. Because nobody commits crimes. Because if you commit a crime, you die.
Right, but I'm saying they're primitive as compared to the Edo god that they so-called worship, right? They are putting, and they even say, well, you look down on us. You know?
I opened up an entire kettle of fish that I did not expect to open up with my statement there, and I apologize for that. But the fact that they're fawning all over these pretty blonde people rubs me
They're
wrong,
Swedish.
too. Plus the fact that Tasha's an idiot for not checking that their only punishment is death. Like,
Okay,
how did she miss
to
that?
her point, again, sorry to interrupt. We keep doing that. But to her point, because I was listening because of Vera's comments, so I was watching for that. And the information that the Edo sent to the Enterprise for Tasha to review only discussed their laws. They did not send the punishment. Now, it should have been Tasha's responsibility to find it.
Head of security.
Yeah. So I will give her that. I won't go full 100% her fault, but she should have been better.
There should have been something in there about the red zones and the zones of punishment, you know, like the fact that...
How did they get that information in the first place? It was a primitive society. It's not like they Wi-Fi'd the documents up to them via email.
They went down first. Tasha, Riker, and Troy went down first.
To read
Then
all the
they
law
came
books.
Yeah, and that's when they did all their research, and then they came up and sent the smaller of Worf and Wesley with them.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people screwed up because without warp capability, they shouldn't have come to this planet in the first place. So for that, and plus the fact that Coming of Age sets up the conspiracy storyline, which is one of the very first continuing storylines in all of Star Trek, plus the Wesley plot of Wesley's goal of getting into Starfleet Academy. I gotta give it to Coming of Age. Sorry.
Ha! Amy, you loser.
I did not say that.
I did. Love you, Amy.
I'll let you say it. So by a vote of by the way, at the time of the recording, the Facebook poll was 14-3 in favor of Coming of Age.
Again, I'm just so surprised. Listeners, you let me know if you reconsider. If anyone would like to change their vote, please let me know. I'll be happy to change the numbers.
Amy's trying to buy votes there.
I think the moral is just way too bonk bonk on the head, to quote another Star Trek podcast. Anyway. The next Batleth battle, which is in, I think, only 3 episodes. I think it's...
Next month.
It's usually 4, but I think it's only 3. The next one will be Season 4, Episode 22, Half a Life, versus Season 2, Episode 14, The Icarus Factor. Does anything jump out at you about those?
Half-Life wins. Let's just not record that. It's just Half-Life 1.
No, whatever. It's very interesting that they're both dealing with parents. Troy and Riker's parents.
This is true.
So.
This is true.
Is the Icarus Factor you've just said? I was struggling to think about what the Icarus Factor is about. Is the Icarus Factor the one where Kyle Riker comes back?
Yeah.
And they have the fight with the Peugeot sticks?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, forgettable Half-Life Timison, Loxana, Half-Life winning every time. Sorry. Spoiler alert. Half-Life wins. Round 2, Half-Life.
Yeah, but, what's the saying from the previous Earl Grey host? Pulaski banged Riker's dad. Just saying.
Oh.
This is where we learned that.
That is where we learned it.
True.
Plus, it's also the episode with the Klingon pain sticks and Worf's anniversary. And John Tesh.
That's right.
There will be lots to talk about in that Batleth battle, Half a Life versus Icarus Factor.
Incoming transmission.
We would love to hear your thoughts on today's show, and we hope you will join the Facebook group Federation Council Chambers. You are welcome to start conversations with us or add any general Star Trek info you want to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us directly at galaxyclass@ufp.earth, and we will read your email on the show. And please follow us on Twitter at GalaxyClassPod.
please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching United Federation of Podcasts. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, General Quarters, Mickey's Marvels, and Infinite Diversity. So Amy, where can people find you when you're traipsing about the garden in your thong?
I will not cosplay that ever. Just
I totally would. Yep.
I know.
Vegas is warm enough to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you can find me here on the network where I'm hosting All Good Things with my good friends Ken and Pat. I'm also on Union Federation podcast, and we will be discussing the Orville and comparing it to Star Trek episodes. Very exciting series that we've got going on there. We're going to be doing Who Watches the Watchers with one of the Orville episodes, which I'm sorry I forget, but it's really good. Awesome. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson. You can find me on Facebook, Federation Council Chambers. And Kevin, where can people find you when you aren't applying to Starfleet and passing the psych test?
Oh, I
do
passed.
pass.
That's
yes.
good. Oh, excellent, excellent. Well, if I'm not taking the Starfleet psych test, you can find me on a couple of other podcasts, including True North Nerds, where we talk about general nerdity, mostly Marvel television these days, because that's what we get a lot of. Or Stage Whispers, the local theater podcast, where our last episode just came out, and we had a fascinating interview with one of the stars of the Toronto company of Come From Away. So that's a fun episode there too. And, that's, I'm on Facebook in the council chambers. I'm on the Twitters at True North Nerds. I'm on the Instagram at ScarfK. So you can find me around. And Joe, where can people find you, if you're not, taking a nap in a flower bed?
I would not. I'm an avid gardener now. I listen to BBC Radio 4's Gardener's Question Time on a Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Have you know? I love my garden. I'm like Boothby.
And he doesn't need to sleep in the flower bed because now he has a home-built
giant garden sofa.
Garden sofa.
Uh-huh. So thanks for that, Kevin, though. See about the psych test that Kevin passed, not only would I pass, I would have saved everybody. Just saying. Yeah, I'm like kind of programming that Kobayashi Maru. When I'm not doing the sleeping in flower beds, though, you can find me in the Federation Council Chambers. You can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK, or you can email me joepodcasts@gmail.com.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFPearth. That's patreon.com/UFPEARTH to get all the details.
You're so funny.
We were spelling it all out. I don't know why I didn't spell the .com out. DOTCOMSLASH.
Well, we would like to recognize our executive producers who make all of this possible. They are Brandon Shea Mutella, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore, and Tony Robinson. We'd also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music, and Tony Robinson for our consistent and amazing artwork.
Thank you all for beaming aboard the Galaxy class, and until next time.
Who do you think you're bullying? You bumped into me. It was your mistake. You were at fault. Do you want this to become violent?
There can be no justice if laws are absolute.
We'd better find Wesley.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.
Recording.
Recording.
Do 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 do.
Do 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 do.
Do 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 do.